Aloha, shalom everybody. We are here live for the new moon activation, and it's the second new moon in March of 2022. So that's cool, it doesn't happen very often. So I'm just setting up. For those of you returning to the activation portal, welcome back. And for those of you who are new to the activation portal, we do these readings every week. And they're just a sweet little archetypal message of wisdom, and we gather from all around the world right here right now live to receive the message together. So new moon is all about new beginning. It's a dark sky. Think of it like a blank slate in your mind, in your imagination. Okay, so this is not really about the moon, but understanding from a perspective of oneness that all things are connected, we can begin to see that the shape of the moon then is reflecting something back to us. It's telling us, giving us a hint as to what's going on inside of our own being. Okay, so new moon, think new beginning. As usual, I'm tuning in from the awesome Sedona, Arizona. Let me know in the comments where in the world you're tuning in from. We've got Australia in the house. And as everyone says in the comments where they're tuning in from, I invite you to imagine in your mind's eye the world, planet Earth, from outer space, and see those parts of the world lighting up. We've got London in the house. We have California, we have Oregon. And I'm just shuffling the deck as usual. And when I'm doing this, what I'm doing is touching the different parts of the mind, waking up the different parts of the mind, as each card represents a different perspective within the individual and collective mind. Florida in the house. Australia in the house. Canada in the house. Make sure you have your water nearby. Do whatever you need to do to get yourself comfortable. Jersey, UK, Massachusetts, Greece, Kansas, Indianapolis, woo! Awesome, Auckland. So make sure you're comfortable, because when you do these activations, or really when you're doing anything that requires that presence, you want to make sure you're comfortable. You want to make sure that you are the best embodiment of the elements that you can possibly be in this moment. So have your water, make sure you're hydrated. That's what helps the energy stay fluid. Make sure you're comfortable with the temperature of your space. I've got a heater at my feet right now, even though I'm in the desert and it's a sunny day. I need to be extra warm. I know myself. Canada in the house, another Arizona, Montana. Awesome. I'm just going to go ahead and take out the Hebrew cards now. Look at this. And I'm just shuffling these as well, and it works the same way. Each of them represent a different piece of archetypal wisdom or a different aspect of the mind. And so when we shuffle them and touch each one of them, we're saying hello, we're waking them up, we're activating them. We're inviting them to be present in the space. And so really what we're doing is inviting the different parts of self to be present in this space. We're becoming whole, becoming wholly present simply by touching all the cards of the deck, by acknowledging each part of the whole. Then we acknowledge each part of the self. Okay, and for those of you who would like to, you're welcome to share the activation now while we're live with your family, friends, someone who could use an uplifting message right now. Maybe you have a favorite group on Facebook you want to share it with. And as usual, the recording will get loaded to YouTube, Rebecca Magic, and Instagram, Rebecca Magic, if you'd like to share it at the end with someone who is not on Facebook. Thank you, archetypes, faces of the one, in advance for this message that's about to come through. All right, so what is the current theme that we're stepping into for this new cycle? What is the energy that brought us here? So it's like the stepping stone or the foundation that brought us to where we now are. It's also something that will recognize we are now ready to move away from, so that we could free up energy for what we now need to do. And as usual, we'll pull the ally of the week from the Hebrew deck. Okay. Current challenge. And we start off with a queen. And the queens are the heart of the matter. So whatever suit is pulled, she's the heart of that situation. Okay, so this is wands. It's the suit of fire and spirit. She's the heart of the spirit. She's the emotional realm within that spiritual journey. So whatever we're experiencing on a spiritual level right now, she represents the heart of it. And what does it mean if this is the current focus, the current challenge and gift? She's the heart of the fire. She's that fiery passion behind what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to start with what it looks like on more of the challenging end. And remember that this card, the challenge and gift, is sometimes more challenging for some and more graceful for others. But the point is, we're all experiencing the same energy, just we're experiencing it in different ways. So on the more challenging end of things, right now this could look like patience, taking your time. Although you may be very excited and passionate about what's going on in your life right now, it's really important not to be impulsive. Impulsivity is a key word for the Queen of Wands. How can we make sure that we're acting with prudence, patience? Okay, so your heart might be so into something. You might feel so passionate about a project you're working on right now, or a relationship, or any situation in your life right now. How can you look at that passion and excitement and allow it to guide you, but also bring in that prudence and patience so that you don't get ahead of yourself, so that you don't act impulsively? Where can you maybe slow down a bit and recognize that it's not even necessary to rush? Sometimes the heart just knows what it wants and we seem to rush toward that thing fast, and that's fine. But it doesn't hurt to pause, to take a moment to ask, where can I slow down? Where would it actually be beneficial to slow down? Sometimes it's great to move quickly. It's not really about time. It's about truth beyond the time. Truth is timeless. So it's important now and again to look at where we're rushing and where we're not moving fast enough. And to ask ourselves, what is that, speed, or what is that lack of speed telling us about our feelings in the situation? Where do we need to slow down more? And where do we need to just go for it? These are all lessons that come with the Queen of Wands, and she is the challenge that's coming with this new cycle, new moon. Another thing you want to consider when you call upon the Queen of Wands within you is, are you listening to the advice of others right now? Are you at least open to listening? Because yes, she is the one that reminds us to listen to our heart, follow our passion, but that doesn't mean we don't listen to the advice of those around us. Okay, that's the irony. She reminds us, you gotta go for what you want. You gotta get that. You gotta follow your heart. Follow that fiery passion to where it leads you. But we end up falling into the more negative aspect, onto the negative end of the spectrum of the Queen of Wands, when we don't still remain open to advice and outside perspective, because the outside is a reflection of the inside. And your father or your mother or your friend, your sister, brother, your peer, they're all still you. Don't forget that. So that's the irony, is yes, you want to listen to yourself, but yourself is in all. You're one with all. So it certainly doesn't hurt to at least hear the perspectives of others, to be open to those perspectives. In fact, it gives us a more well-rounded perspective when we do consider the ideas or advice from those who love us, those who deeply care about us, those who maybe have more earthly experience than us, or experience in a particular area of life that we don't ourselves have. It certainly doesn't hurt to observe those perspectives, to at least receive them. It doesn't mean you have to act on them. We have free will. It's a gift. Think about the devil card, for example. Even if we don't follow those evil or lower inclinations, the devil is a card in the deck because it's a necessary perspective to have. Because when we consider all ideas from the most positive to the most negative, we can reach that fullest potential of circumspection. We can really understand the beginning, the end, and everything in between. You want to consider even the perspective that's opposite yours, especially the perspective that's opposite yours, because it can reveal things that you wouldn't otherwise have seen if you were so focused on only one end of the spectrum. Again, it's not saying you have to act on an idea that opposes yours, but it can certainly shed light, create a wider perspective, expands your perspective, show you things that you might not have seen otherwise. So this is why it's important right now to, yes, absolutely follow your heart, but remember all things, all beings are part of the one heart. So be open. Be open to receive that wisdom. Okay? And on the gift side of this, for those who are experiencing it in less of a challenging way, and for those who make it through the challenges and each time begin to experience more of the positive end of this, it looks like this. Right now, you're going to feel very inspired. Your heart is going to be very much involved in what you do, as it always should be. So look for those signs. Those are signs that you're making it through the current challenge. Those are signs that you are growing, that you are doing the right thing, that you are harnessing the incoming energies to the best of your ability. Again, that looks like right now, you are following your heart. Your heart is in what you do. Your heart is supercharging all that you do, all that you think, say, and do. Your heart is in it. It looks like this: being open to those other perspectives because you are remembering you are one with all of them. You're one with all beings. And using all of those perspectives to fuel your own perspective. The one that is going to be focused on the heart's desire. The one that's going to then go after it. And there's a lot of cat energy in this card. You can see there's a cat at her feet. Then there's the lions here on the sides. And those are denoting courage, bravery, passion, but also love, the heart. Lion, Leo, is connected to the heart. Okay? It's a necessary part of the path of the initiate, is having that heart and that courage to move forward. And then you have the sunflower here and all these colors, the yellow, the red, the orange. They all should speak to your solar plexus and to your sacral chakra. So it's about creativity. It's about your personality and aligning your personality, your ego, with the divine. Because we shine when we align with the divine. We shine when we align with the divine. Okay, so these colors and symbols are speaking to those chakras. Even the red that's in there is saying we bring that energy up from the root. It comes to the sacral. We're inspired. We get creative. We apply that creativity to our personal mission, which is that solar plexus. What our personal ego came here to accomplish in order to serve the one. Okay, so root, we ground in that energy, bring it up into the sacral creativity, direct that creativity toward our purpose, and bring it all up into the heart and shine it out from the heart. That's what the Queen of Wands is telling us right now. Take in that energy. Access your creativity. Direct it toward your purpose and do it with heart. Wow. And then we have a king. So we have a king and queen. And this was the card that we pulled as the foundation for what brought us to where we are at right now. Okay, so this was the past cycle. This is what led us to the Queen of Wands. We've been more in our active element, king, masculine. We've been more in our active element. It's time to be more receptive. We've been more in our logic, time to be more in our intuition. And there's always a balance. There's always both in every moment, really. But it's saying, well, there's been more action. Now there should be more turning inward. Really focusing on our heart and our intuition. And of course, then as well, acting on it. Okay, so the King of Pentacles is what brought us to where we're at. We have been very focused on what we want to create, what we want to manifest, what we want to bring into our material reality. And now what we're doing is we're reconsidering our spiritual values, our purpose, what our heart wants, what our spirit wants, our evolution, because that's what the Suit of Wands is about. The Queen comes right before the King. The King is the master of each of the elements pulled. So the King of Wands means we're reaching a new level of mastery with our spiritual path, okay? So she is on her way to that. Okay? So we've been focused on masterful creation. Being the master of mind to matter. We've had all these visions of what we want to manifest and create, and now we're bringing in a new element. Getting back in touch with our spiritual values, our purpose, beyond material reality, so that when we come back to the creative process, we'll have inserted the heart into it. This spiritual, elevated, higher passion, higher fire. Okay? So it's like we've been wanting to create, make, manifest, money, abundance, prosperity. And now we're like, okay, and heart first. And how is it all going to help me grow? What am I going to do with all these opportunities that are now in my life? What am I going to do with these new relationships, new jobs, new projects, new stuff? How can I make it about my spiritual path? Just remind myself that's what it's always been about, and that's what it will always be about. So how can I make it be about it right here, right now? Everything that we've manifested, right? This brought us here. Everything that we've manifested, it's time to now use it for the heart, for the one heart, not just for our individual heart's desires, but for the one heart's desires. So that's why we have to align our desires with the Most High if we want to really access the depth of potential here. Now we're going to pull the Hebrew letter ally. So as we move through this process of taking all that we've manifested and directing it to serve the heart and the soul, the ally is the Kaf. Okay, so it looks like this. And somebody did bring it to my attention that it's actually opposite on here. So let me know if you can see it. Okay, there we go. Okay, fixed. Okay. So you can look up the Hebrew letter Kaf. It's spelled Q-O-F if you want to look it up so that you can get the right image, because I know it flips it on the camera. And the Kaf is associated with the sun card. And it very much reminds me of this right here. We have the sunflower, all the colors of the sun. We just talked about the solar plexus. And the Kaf and the sun card in the tarot is all about shining our highest light. And remember, the tarot is a wheel. It's a cycle. It's never ending. So we come to these points over and over and over. And each time we come to the Kaf, it's representing that new level of beingness that we've come to. It's representing the new frequency that we've cultivated. Okay, so, and it comes right before the Judgment card. So you can see how they're all connected. You shine that light of everything that you've learned so far. And then Judgment, you then reflect on that light and analyze it. Okay, so if Kaf is the sun and it's our ally of the week, it's really saying, look, you've manifested all this stuff, but what are you going to do with it now? Because what you do with it is what really matters. What you do with it is going to determine your level of ascension. What you do with it is going to determine the quality of that light that you shine. And I do, of course, talk about this in my books. This specifically that I'm mentioning right now. The quality of the light that you shine. For example, there could be two beautiful people. One may be beautiful externally, but one beautiful from the inside out, really shining that virtuous light, that light of the virtues. And that light is a much higher quality of light. That is light that is eternal. That external beauty is what fades. It's impermanent. So this is what we're talking about with the Kaf. The quality of the light. You are the sun shining. How are you allowing that light to come through? What even is that light? Again, it's the light of the virtues. So how are you going to use all that you've manifested to serve the heart and the soul, the one heart and soul? And then each act that you do in service of the heart and soul, each thing that you've manifested that you're now using as a ritual to serve the heart and the soul will help to cultivate that light of the virtues within you. Because remember, it's acts of kindness, acts of goodness, service that puts that light into motion, that projects it out and makes a manifestation of it in this world. We already have all the light within us, all the light of the virtues. But it's action upon that light. It's allowing ourselves to be the vessel, allowing our senses to be the vehicles for that light to be made into something in this world that actually does something. So the Kaf is saying, remember, this is all about your goal of bringing more light into this world. You are the sun. What is the quality of your light? How far does it spread? Who are your rays reaching? What are your rays teaching? Are you shining that light from the center outward? Are you shining that light from the inside out? And all together, these cards paint a picture. We've worked hard to manifest these opportunities that are now upon us. How are we going to use it all to serve the heart? Remember, she represents the heart of the spiritual path. How are we going to use all that we've got, all that we've now created, all that we've manifested in service of the heart? And depending on the work we do with that, will determine our level of shining. It will determine our spiritual growth. So with the Kaf being the ally, you want to hold a vision of yourself as this sun, right? Just like we use the moon as inspiration for these activations, think about the sun. We're all one. What is the sun in reflection of you? It's a symbol that should remind you that we're here to glow ever brighter. We're here to bring more light into the world, to multiply the light that always was, is, and will be. That's the only worthy pursuit, because the light is the only thing that lasts forever. Everything else fades away. So really, all that we think, say, and do should be directed toward this goal of multiplying the light, which is one with the goal of bringing heaven to earth. So allow the ally of the Kaf to guide you, to hold an image of yourself as this sun, as this bright light, carrying the awareness in each moment that in order to have and be and shine the highest quality light, It's about the virtues, embodying the virtues, knowing that we are the light of the virtues, and allowing ourselves to be the vessel for that light to be made manifest in this world. Understanding that whatever we have manifested in our lives should be used in service of the fiery heart. I think of the sacred heart, you know, in all the Christian art and the blazing heart. I think about Mary pointing to that heart, or, you know, Jesus. The path of the flaming heart. That's what this all should paint a picture of in your head. We're here to activate the heart, to serve it. And depending upon our level of dedication to that path, it will determine how brightly we shine and the quality of that light. May the light you shine be that eternal light, because that's the light of our essence, and that is the light that we are here to multiply. What an awesome reading. A king, a queen, and the sun shining above them. And when you look at these three things together, it also reminds us that in order to shine to the best of our ability with what we have, with where we are at right here and now, it ultimately requires balance. Everything comes back to that balance and harmony within. Things are always changing in life, and we constantly have to make the effort to direct our will, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, in those ways that are going to promote balance. And it's a balancing act. It never ends. Life is a balance between effort and surrender. So here we have the masculine, the feminine, king, queen, active, receptive. We have the spiritual world. We have the material world. Right? This is the suit of mind to matter. This is the spiritual path. We need things. That's why we're in this world. That's why we're in this material reality. But it's what we do with those things that matters the most. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything already exists in an alternate dimension. All things are within us. If what you seek you find not within, you shall never find it without, right? So it's really awesome to look a little more closely at the art. He's holding a pentacle. She's holding a sunflower. Saying we need these things, but we use it in service of the spirit. We use it in service of the heart and the soul. We need to balance logic and intuition. And when we can really do that, the kaf, the sun, will shine. I love this. And there's so much more. I mean, you guys, the symbols in each of the cards, there's just so much to talk about. If you're interested in learning more about the actual symbols of the cards, please ask me about my class on the Major Arcanum cards. It's a video course. It's all fully recorded and ready for you. Each class is about 60 to 90 minutes long. So that's a lot. And it's a little bit different than my books. Okay, the classes are more on the specific symbolism, the occult symbolism of the art. And it's really special to learn about the symbols because the universal language is symbolism, and it goes way beyond a deck or any deck of cards. Remember, tarot means royal path. It's life. The symbols are all around us. The tarot is just an excellent tool to understand and get in touch with these frequencies so that you can begin to recognize them all around you and within you. So please reach out if you're interested in the course. If you're interested in my books, I've been sending them out with special bookmarks inside for you guys as little gifts. And I also am doing one-on-one readings still, as usual, of course. If you want to book a reading with me, please private message me, or you can go to royalpathtarot.com, royalpathtarot.com, and there's info on there as to how to get in touch with me, and links to my other social media. Thank you guys so much for joining for this activation. And if there's somebody you would love to share this activation with, please go right ahead. Let them know that we meet every week. I also have 2 private groups on Facebook. One is called the Archetypal Alliance, and that is for people like you and I who are interested in elaborating on these messages, going deeper. That's where we gather throughout the week in between activations. So feel free to join us there. The other private group is called Shabbat Crew, and I'll be posting in there tomorrow. Every Shabbat, which is Friday night, I share about the current Torah story and how it relates to our world today. And it's for anybody who wants to receive the wisdom of the ancient scripture. It's applicable to anyone who has an open heart and an open mind. So please join us in there, the Archetypal Alliance and Shabbat Crew. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining. Thanks for doing this work with me. Let's really focus. We got this. Let's really focus on inserting that intention of serving the heart and the soul with all that we've here now manifested. Let's dedicate every part of our material reality, every experience, every bit of this earthly experience, our thoughts, our words, our actions, our relationships, our jobs, our home life. Let's stay focused on the intention of serving the heart and the soul through all of these avenues, through all of these rituals. We got this. I love you guys. Shalom.